what I'm gonna do for the title of this video. Honestly, I don't have any clue, but I gotta record it. I can't keep putting it off. I said I was gonna upload more, so I gotta be better about that. But what I'm looking at and what question I'm asking today is, why do I feel like, in my lone opinion, why do I feel like video games, I wouldn't say have gotten boring, but have kind of lost their magic that they did, you know? I hear a lot of people talk about, oh man, video games are so much boring nowadays. They're not as good as they used to be, all this kind of stuff. I don't understand. At first I didn't understand because it hasn't happened to me. It hadn't happened to me yet. And then it really hit me pretty recently how much I relate to that. And it's a genuine question I've been asking myself lately, is why do I feel like video games have just like lost whatever made them special? Jeez, the lag is crazy right now. But you know, why do I feel as though video games has lost everything that made them special? That like made them so appealing to me as a kid. And so I'll go into some backstory first. I said how I don't feel as though, well, it didn't affect me at first. This question of why video games have felt so boring didn't really affect me at first, because I had so many games I wanted to play. And I didn't really see and relate to the idea that video games nowadays are boring and, you know, all this kind of stuff, microtransactions, all that kind of stuff. Until, and my friends were always talking about, you know, how all the video games they played felt boring. I had friends that would be like, there's no good video games to play nowadays, and all that kind of stuff, all those same things, same stuff. And at first it like annoyed me, because I was like, I've got so many options to play. I don't understand how you can't be having fun and like can't find something fun that you'd want to do. Because at the time I had so many options, but as I come to realize, I still have those options, but at the same time I just don't have that drive to play them. They just don't seem as appealing as they did. And I wanted to ask myself why. Why does it feel like I've lost all of this? Man, I'm kind of rambling. But and as I looked further and further, I've had to start like taking looks at myself. And I've been having like, I wouldn't say like I was like sad or anything, but I was just having this like time of like reflecting. I was reflecting. And I was reflecting on the idea of what made video games so special back then. Oh, this guy's terrible. What is he doing? Anyways. And so I was reflecting on that idea of, why have I suddenly just felt like I lost that magic? And I've realized that, well, one, there's obviously no real way to answer that question. It's more of just like a discussion topic. It feels like like an English discussion, like an English class in school. I'm about to write an essay on this, but you know, I digress. But I look further and further at this question, and you know, there's always the classic answer of like, oh, you growing up, you know, things you're experiencing the real world. But the real world shouldn't have an effect on these things, because the whole point of it is it's an imaginary world to escape the real world. That's the reason so many people like and play video games, because it's an imaginary world where they don't have to realize, and they can escape these hardships that they face in the real world. whether it be like bad family structure or mental problems or, you know, loneliness, all these things. That's what the reason they're doing and playing video games is to escape these problems that they face in their everyday life. Yet, so many people are like, oh, it's because the real world's affecting them. And so I don't really believe that it's because of that. That was terrible on my end. But I'm not, I don't really believe that. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Because the whole reason is to escape. Do I think that growing up, oh my gosh. Do I think growing up and having, like, a more mature look on it is definitely a reason that video games can, like, lose their magic and feel boring? Yes, 100%. There's no argument. Do I think it's the main reason? No. I think it's a supporting reason. But yeah, my friends say they were experiencing this. And like I said, I didn't really understand how they could feel that way. Because video games had been so fun to me for so long, since I was a kid. But in reality, I was just holding on to that idea of how fun they are and all that. When in reality, I was feeling the exact same way, but I just wasn't accepting it. Sweet. And so as I've like, started to experience this, like, pattern of, you know, video games feel boring, but they're not. Like, if you really take it from the bigger perspective and not from your just opinion, video games aren't boring. Like, there's so much to do. There's so much to experience. All these type of games you can try if you're just willing to put in the effort. But it feels like the more I go through about this life, the harder it is to put in that effort. And the harder it is to enjoy these things. And something that I was so excited to do when I was younger has just lost the magic that made it special. I have no idea what I'm doing. Go, little man. Good stuff. But yeah. I don't even know what I'm trying to say at this point. It just kind of feels like I'm just talking to talk, but you know, sometimes that's all right. Oh, dang, he just scored on his teammate. Dude. Anyways. And so, in order to try and solve this problem I'm having with myself, I'm trying to, you know, take that reflection and play some games that I used to play as a kid to just try and see if that magic is still there. You know, so I've been playing a good amount of Minecraft. You know, every kid experienced Minecraft when they were younger. And some like old Nintendo, well, I wouldn't say old, but the more aged Nintendo games at this point, like the Mario, like the old Mario games, Super Mario Galaxy, I played some Super Mario Galaxy recently, and I'm playing through it. I'm trying to buy a Wii, actually, and hopefully I can get that, but I think it's okay what I'm experiencing. I don't necessarily think that finding games boring is a bad thing. Not in the sense that video games aren't good for you and you should spend your time outside doing other stuff that other people want you to do. No. What I'm saying is it's okay that I'm reflecting on this kind of stuff. Because then that helps me to truly realize why I play video games. Looking deeper into this question of why it feels they've lost their magic really helps me to rediscover that magic. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of time to think and process this kind of stuff. Jeez, they are... Bro, what are you on? Ain't no way you're trying to forfeit. Anyways, that's not what I'm here for. What I'm trying to say is, if video games were perfect, you would never experience this. But the reason you do experience it is because they're not perfect. You know? We sometimes fantasize our things and make them better than they normally would be. And kind of like, we over-exaggerate how good they are. Jeez, I'm sorry, I'm lost by that goal. But we tend to... I feel like when we reflect on these kinds of things and ask these kinds of questions, we kind of make it a bad thing. What I'm trying to say is, reflecting on this kind of stuff and experiencing these feelings of questioning why you're even playing in the first place really helps to make that time that you actually play special. I think that's the point I'm trying to get at. Is sometimes you do need to question these kinds of things. You know? And maybe, maybe your time of playing video games is over. And if so, it's sad to see an era pass. But the thing is, they always say, I don't know who they is, but people always say, good things aren't meant to last. If a good thing lasted for too long, it'd be overdone, overplayed, over just everything. It's just, it loses everything that made it special. And that's the point. The whole point of it being special is that it's not supposed to last. And you can try and hold on and hope that it'll still, be special like it was when you were younger. But at the same point, it's just, it's not meant to last. And so for some, this thing of why games are boring tends to be like a question that leads some people to give up games. But I would say for me, I think it's a way for me to help realize how special video games have meant to me throughout my life. And it's dumb to say that, video games are just games. They're, all that kind of, all those, I would say old people, but people of maturity would say, you need to give up that game. You need to go work your entire life. But I don't know. In my eyes, video games are just special. Every single different one is like a different story, a different experience, a different world that you get to experience. And that's why I like them so much. I think it's a different way of storytelling. And that's why I think it's so special. It's because you can really get stories, meanings, things you can apply to your life from games. Obviously not every game, I don't know what kind of life lesson you're going to get from Rocket League, but it does help you with like physical things like dexterity, reaction time, processing. But that's the kind of points I argue to my parents. That's not the kind of points I argue just regularly. But I think in a deeper sense, in a more serious sense, video games do present life lessons that you can carry on through your life. From like actual like story games, not just, you know, serious games. And more competitive ones, you know. And that's one of the reasons I like them so much. I like how I made this first. Originally, this video was supposed to be why I feel games are boring. But I like the way this video has turned out. I'm going to play out the rest of this game, but I hope you enjoyed this video. And hopefully you stuck around to the end. And, yeah, you look out for more videos. But, thank you for watching.